Good evening. Coming up on News Central, we have received a tip that national civil rights leader and former presidential candidate Jesse Jackson may be making a stop on CMU's campus.
And even though the Student Government Association has held their election, the results have not yet been released. But we know the winners. I'm David Scott.
And I'm Angie Schramski. News Central is next.
Serving the Mount Pleasant community and Central Michigan University. With Angie Schramski, Dave Scott, John Spitzley with weather, and Todd Cox with sports. Live from Central Michigan University, this is News Central.
Jesse Jackson may be headed to Central Michigan University, says a spokesman for Mr. Jackson.
Jackson says that he is interested in coming to CMU to discuss racism with officials. Currently, Mr. Jackson is investigating the case of the firing of Coach Keith Dambrot and looking at his schedule to see when a good time would be to visit CMU. Jackson says he's concerned because the university didn't plan on firing Dambrot until it realized the extent of public rage over the event. Jackson says that he found out about the event by some concerned citizens and by the press. By the end of the week, Mr. Jackson should know if he will be coming to CMU.
It's obvious that if Coach Dambrot's situation attracts national attention, the situation here at CMU is equally volatile. News Central hit the streets to find out local opinions about the firing of Coach Dambrot.
I think it was a good decision, and I'm glad that Central students stick up for their rights and what they believe in.
I don't think it was fair. I think they used him as a scapegoat. I disagree with the firing. I feel that it was out of like revenge and trying to. I don't know. They protested and they were trying to respond to it, and I don't think the response was a positive one.
I think that he should have used the word that he did to fire up his team, but in the same sense, I don't think that he should have been fired and punished for the word that he did use.
I feel that in an institution of higher education, words like nigger that he used are totally unacceptable, and I feel that whatever measures it takes in order for this to stop are necessary, and if firing is necessary, then so be it.
I think it was not only appropriate, but late. His opinion concerning the remark he made was just a display of ignorance. Whether or not that term is used within a given community is irrelevant. This is 1993. It's not an appropriate term, and it shows his lack of common sense, I think, more than anything else. And stupidity is the only terminal sin there is.
The Student Government Association is not releasing any information about the election held Monday and Tuesday until sometime tomorrow. However, the candidates have already found out the results. Presidential candidate Bridget Esquardo and her running mate Rebecca Bollingbird discovered Tuesday night that all of their hard work paid off. While neither of the winners were available for comment, Lisa McGuire says the outcome was disappointing for her and presidential candidate Scott Whipple. McGuire said, quote, "In every election there's a winner and a loser, and you hope to be the winner, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way," unquote. McGuire is still hopeful and plans to run again next year, but has not made any firm commitment yet.
Effective July 1st, Richard Davenport, Vice President for Academic Affairs, will take on the additional responsibilities as temporary Dean of the College of Extended Learning. Davenport will replace John Yanis, who recently announced his resignation as Dean. Yanis plans on returning to teaching in the Education Administration and in the Community Leadership Department. Provost Robert Frank says he is confident that Davenport has the ability and the experience to offer the department. Among those services housed in the College of Extended Learning are the community service and off-campus programs, Native American programs, and Michigan Special Olympics. Plans to search for a permanent replacement have not yet developed.
Peace treaties, debt release, and international agreements have been worked out, thanks to the commendable efforts of a 21-member delegation from Central Michigan University. Representing the Russian Federation, last week the class traveled to New York to participate in a Model United Nations conference, and class members saying playing the role of a world power was not an easy task.
The fact that it's such a huge nation that you had to kind of rise to it. Two occasions. The first occasion being able to adapt to the changes so quickly. The second thing, being such a major country and such a major player, you constantly have to be that major player during the simulation, and people want that and expect that out of you. And that's a whole added stress. And our delegates did a spectacular job with that.
Playing a world power like the Russian Federation is definitely a lot better than playing a smaller country, but usually we have a powerful country, at least, not necessarily a Russian Federation, but we have a country that usually is listened to on the world communities.
Michigan's delegation was one of 15 nations out of 170 competing schools that was recognized as an honorable mention. This comes as no surprise to Model United Nations President Tom Corey, who says this is not only an accomplishment for the delegation, but for Central Michigan University.
Gary Miller has been appointed Director of International Programs at Central Michigan University. Miller, a Latin American historian who currently oversees programs in Europe, China, and Japan for St. John's University in Minnesota, will begin his position on July 1st. His responsibilities will include establishing and maintaining study abroad opportunities for students, coordinating faculty and student exchanges, and overseeing the recruitment and services for international students at CMU.
Brian Fortier is in for John Spitzley, and he joins us now to give us an update on what's coming up in the weather.
Well, it looks like it's going to get a little wetter and cooler around here, and possibly by the end of the week we could see a little bit of white stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And when we come back, the relatives of Malice Green want to settle out of court for his death.
And the U.S. Supreme Court ruled to execute a Michigan native for the murder of 4 people. Stay with us.
Before we went to see the kids to wrap them water pipes with insulation.
Yeah, should have listened.
And didn't I tell you to leave the doors under the sink open?
Yep.
And leave the heat on?
Yep.
You know, if you'd done all them things, we wouldn't have had to rip out the wall-to-wall carpet when we got home.
Yep, I know.
And we wouldn't have drowned the Victrola.
Yep, should have listened.
Oh, fool.
Oh, I got one.
Having the right resume is vital to your future career. That's why you need a resume from Copy Corner, your professional resume headquarters. Copy Corner will help you every step of the way, from writing to layout to printing. And you'll end up with a resume to impress any prospective employer. For one resume or 100, you can't beat our prices, high quality, or fast service. So for a professional resume, contact the experts at Copy Corner, located in Sadler Square, Big Rapids, and the Cinema Plaza, Mount Pleasant.
Personally, I learned about the disease and all the implications when my brother was diagnosed. And it was a harsh reality. I had to learn a lot very quickly. Even though I thought I knew a lot about AIDS, the picture changed when it became a family issue.
If I, the son of a Baptist minister from basically a rural area, can acquire AIDS, anybody can.
Obviously, women can get AIDS. I mean, I'm certainly here to witness to that. That it's not a we-they disease, it's an us disease.
AIDS is not a problem that affects other people. AIDS affects us all. Know the facts about AIDS. Know how to protect yourself and your family. Tell others. For answers to your questions about AIDS, call 1-800-342-AIDS.
The Parking Services Administration team that was recently appointed by President Leonard Plachta has plans in the work to help solve the parking crisis at CMU.
Mike Owens has more.
The problem of trying to find a parking spot on campus has taken its toll on students as well as faculty. Thanks to 2 concerned university employees, a petition signed by 150 faculty and staff members got the ball rolling on the parking problem.
I think it's really difficult to find a parking spot, especially if you're in a rush and you're late for class. Especially in this parking lot, they have too many cars here, and they probably, I don't know, I think that they gave out too many passes and went above and beyond their capacity to hold cars here.
The Parking Services Administrative Team, which consists of 3 administrators and 1 faculty member, has met twice since its formation and plans to meet weekly until the report is complete.
My personal opinion is that we have enough parking on campus. However, I don't know that our policies optimize the use of that parking. So the charge of the committee is to come up with a parking philosophy, a parking strategy that will help us to optimize the parking facilities that we now have and to provide better parking service to our customers, which of course are the students and to a large extent our faculty and staff.
The basic goal of the Parking Services Administration Team is to maximize the lots already on campus, since there are no future plans to build lots in the future. This is Mike Owens for News Central.
A federal judge in the beating death of Malice Green is refusing to let the case be settled out of court. Judge Gerald Rosen says he feels obligated to oversee the case. Attorneys for the city and Green's relatives appeared before Rosen yesterday asking him to dismiss the federal lawsuit. But Rosen accused the family lawyers of shopping for justice and attacking city attorneys' willingness to settle. Reasons for the dismissal is so they can obtain approval in the Wayne County Circuit Court for a $5.2 to $5 million settlement with 14 of Green's relatives. Lawyers for Green's family say they plan to appeal Rosen's ruling before trial on June 2nd.
If you think that you should be earning more money, just wait till you hear what some Michigan executives make. Mascow Chairman Richard Manoogian was paid $17.4 million in 1992, making him the second highest paid executive in Michigan, aside from Chrysler Chairman Lee Iacocca, who made $20.3 million. Mascow Company makes home furnishings and furniture and is based in the Detroit suburb of Taylor. Most of Manoogian's earnings come from cashing in on a number of stock options. The executive received an incredible boost in earnings from previous years. In 1988, he only made $2.4 million, $7.3 million in 1989, $1.5 million in 1990, and $4.7 million in 1991. Other new statements show NBD Bank Corp Chairman Charles Fisher made $4.9 million, and Kmart Chairman Joseph Antonini made $2.2 million in 1992. Several companies in Michigan have yet to report their executives' earnings.
State Senator Debbie Stabenow said that today she would declare her candidacy for governor. This follows her announcement that she raised enough money to qualify for matching public funds. The Lansing Democrat raised the needed amount of funds in less than 2 weeks, faster than any other candidate in history. This allows her to switch her exploratory campaign to a formal challenge against Governor John Engler. She is expected to announce her candidacy at about the end of the year. Stabenow said she raised $75,441 in the amounts of $100 or less. That will qualify her for a 2-to-1 state match for her campaign.
A Michigan native has been executed for murdering 4 people in Arizona after appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court twice. 35-year-old James Dean Clark was executed just after midnight last night while his jailhouse bride watched. The High Court's second rejection was announced within 15 minutes of his execution. Clark was the 3rd person executed in Arizona since the state resumed carrying out the death penalty last spring. And he is the 198th person executed since the U.S. Supreme Court reinstated the death penalty in 1976.
In South Africa, violence is on the rise, and so is the death toll. In central Cape Town, 1 man was killed while 150 were wounded as police and soldiers fought with looters. Also in the Black Township of Soweto, 3 people were killed when the police shot at people marching in protest to the weekend killing of a top black leader, Chris Hani. The national strike by black workers also brought on some 250 wounded in the gunfire. More than 1 million people were involved in the riots. Today at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, an American Airlines DC-10 crashed while attempting to land. Its landing gear did not hold up, and authorities are trying to figure out the cause. A small fire did break out in the wheel well of the aircraft. Of the 200 people aboard the flight, 30 were injured and 1 seriously as a 79-year-old woman broke her neck. The flight was on its way back from Honolulu. In Sarajevo, the United Nations is starting up its AIDS flight as food is slowly running out. The Serbs are forcing the U.S. to make a decision to beef up its involvement, including the agreement of an arms embargo. For Bosnian Muslims, former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher believes they should be heavily armored against the Serbs.
I wish that the West had been more effective in stopping that slaughter. That is the crucial thing. After a year of Western policy, we're still seeing those scenes.
Despite Margaret Thatcher's comments, the majority of the Conservative MPs in Parliament support the government's reluctance to become more militarily involved.
When News Central returns, Todd Cox will be in with highlights from opening day at Tiger Stadium.
But first, Brian Fortier is in for John Spitzley, and he will let us know if rain is in the forecast for this upcoming week. Stay tuned.
Long ago, in a place where there was nothing, something incredible began to happen. As the centuries passed, a beautiful forest blossomed, and all was well. Then one day, a man was careless. And once again, there was nothing.
That's my dad. And that's Mom. Dad's got an idea. A way to get rid of all the grody garbage that's polluting the world. He's invented a big rocket ship to shoot all the garbage into outer space. Mom's not sure, but Dad says his invention will save the world.
There's an easier way to save the world. Recycle. For your free recycling action guide, write Recycle. Environmental Defense Fund, 257 Park Avenue South, New York, New York.
Do you live like this? Crowded, overpriced, distant from campus? Why? When Arthur's Village offers affordable, spacious apartments close to campus. Residents especially like the large bedrooms and ample living space.
I have so much room here at Arthur's Village I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. Now I have room for all my stuff.
Arthur's Village apartments are not only spacious, but affordable too. With 9-month leases and low summer rates, Arthur's Village meets students' budgets.
Arthur's Village is so affordable that after paying my rent, I have enough money left over to do the things I enjoy doing.
Arthur's Village economical 3- and 4-bedroom furnished apartments are also close to campus.
I just had a rough day of classes. I'm ready to go over to SAC, work off a little tension, playing some hoops. And since I'm so close to campus, I can be there in a few minutes.
Arthur's Village, spacious, affordable, close to campus. Located at 722 West Broomfield. Call 772-2163 for more information.
Good evening. Currently around Mount Pleasant, we have cloudy skies. Our temperature is at 54. Dew points at 31 degrees. Relative humidity is at 43%. Our barometric pressure is 29.84 and falling, and the winds are from the east at 10 miles an hour. Taking a look at the almanac, our normal high today is 55. The record of 75 was set back in 1975. Our normal low is 36 degrees. Our record low of 15 was set back in 1950. Sun will go down tonight about 8:15 and come back up tomorrow morning at 6:59 a.m. Taking a look around the nation this afternoon. In the country today is this storm system here in the south central plains, which is touching off a lot of severe weather, a lot of reports of large hail damaging cars and buildings all the way from Texas up into Missouri today. And as this storm system gathers together all the moisture off the Gulf of Mexico, it's going to head north on a storm track right up towards Michigan. And it's going to touch off some rain and possibly some snow towards us towards the end of the week. Today in Wisconsin, there's some snow back in the colder areas. They're expecting maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow back from Wisconsin back into Minnesota and into South Dakota. Elsewhere around the country today, up in the northeast, not a lot happening. And there's our low temperatures for tonight. You can see 20s for the Upper Peninsula in Wisconsin back into Minnesota. 30s and 40s for Michigan, and as you get down to the southern part of the United States, 50s, 60s, and down in Florida, they'll be in the tropical 70s for lows. Highs tomorrow should be in the 40s to 50s where we are. Over in Wisconsin and the UP, they're only going to see temperatures in the 30s tomorrow, as they'll see a possibility of some more snow. Temperatures in the eastern half of the country are going to be real warm out ahead of the storm system. The 70s are going to come up into central Ohio, and the rest of the East Coast is going to be experiencing temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Taking a look at the forecast map for tomorrow night, actually, okay, we'll go to the state map. I see temperatures today were in the 40s in the upper peninsula. The cold spot in the state today was Copper Harbor, as they never made it above 36. And the warmest spot in the state was Flint, as they made it up to 55. And most of the state was under cloudy skies, except for the southeastern corner of the state, where they had partly cloudy skies in Detroit. Now we can take a look at the forecast for tonight. Rain developing later with a chance of thunderstorms late tonight. We'll see a low of 42. Winds will be from the east about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we'll see rain and a chance of thunderstorms, and we could see 1 to 2 inches of rain tomorrow, as the National Weather Service has put us under a flood watch until 8 o'clock Friday morning. And it's going to be breezy, and we'll see a high near 50. And the extended outlook the rest of the week will show that temperatures are going to go downhill, and Friday there's a possibility we could see a little bit of snow mixed in with our rain.
Snow on Easter and now snow again in spring.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, wow. Any hope for warmer weather coming up after that?
I don't know. Next week looks like temperatures might stay a little bit below normal, but hopefully we'll be in the 50s.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yep.
Todd Cox is next with a sports update. Stay with us.
Having the right resume is vital to your future career. That's why you need a resume from Copy Corner, your professional resume headquarters. Copy Corner will help you every step of the way, from writing to layout to printing. And you'll end up with a resume to impress any prospective employer. For one resume or 100, you can't beat our prices, high quality, or fast service. So for a professional resume, contact the experts at Copy Corner, located in Saddler Square, Big Rapids, and the Cinema Plaza, Mount Pleasant.
Honey, it's Mom. Please let me in. I'm worried.
Learn to see the signs of mental illness. 2 out of 3 people who get help get better. For a free booklet, call the National Mental Health Association.
Everyone has their own idea of a hero.
Magic Johnson. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. Neal.
My hero, Gloria Stefan.
Martin Luther King. Mr. Hope.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes. They've given them hope. They've given them choices. They've changed their lives.
Well, the children are the heroes.
The most fulfilling thing is watching a child succeed.
I just like to help them make their dreams come true.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Mr. Wilkins.
Mrs. Eisenhower.
Mr. Adler.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Todd joins us now with sports.
So Todd, CMU's men's baseball team had a home game after returning from Western yesterday.
Yeah, big home game for Central, as the Central Michigan baseball team hosted Northwood Institute today as they shut out Northwood 4-0 as Troy Novak got the start. Tim Spar had a solo shot in the 7th, and Kevin Young went 2 for 3 with an RBI and scored a run. Yesterday, the Chippewas were in Kalamazoo as they split a double dipper with Western. The Chips lost the first game 1-0, but the Chips bounced back to take the nightcap 3-2. Aaron Knieper took the loss in game 1 as he went 8 2/3 innings, striking out 4, walking 1, and giving up 7 hits, falling to 2-1 on the season. In the second game, catcher Mark Shire drove in 2 runs on a double in the second inning. Todd Schaefer and Scott Cook combined on a no-hitter as Schaefer got the win to improve to 2-1. Central is 20-5 overall, 8-2 in the MAC, 3 games up on Bowling Green. The Chips host Ball State this weekend in 2 doubleheaders. Turning to the major leagues, the Detroit Tigers wore out the base pass yesterday as they pounded out 18 hits while scoring 20 runs in a 20-4 rout of the Oakland A's. It's the second highest run total in a game in Tiger history as we travel to the corner of Michigan and Trumbull at Tiger Stadium. As Sparky Anderson's there, it's 1-0 Tigers in the first when Rob Deere steps up with 2 men on, and he'll go deep to left in the upper deck. It's 4-0 Bengals. Tigers got 3 more in the second as Travis Fryman drives in this RBI single as he drove in Tony Phillips. And then it's 8-2 in the fourth as Mickey Tettleton is up and he hits a 3-run homer to make it 11-2 Bengals. And then here, as we're still in the fourth inning, Ricky Henderson and Eric Fox play the I got it, no, I got it game. And still in the fourth, Travis Fryman comes up and he hits, well, another 3-run homer. It's 15-2 Tigers in the actually 16-2 in the fourth inning. Kirk Gibson makes his return to Tiger Stadium with a Texas leaguer as Fox slides and misjudges the ball. As the bleacher creatures go wild, but Tony La Russa doesn't seem to go wild. The Tigers had the day off today, but get back into action tomorrow against the same A's. Elsewhere in the junior circuit, Texas throttled Baltimore 8-3. Fernando Valenzuela, in his first major league start since 1991, was roughed up for 7 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Boston down Cleveland 6-2. Scott Fletcher hit his first career home run at Fenway Park, and Frank Viola pitched 7 strong innings to lead the Red Sox to their home opening win. Chicago shut out Minnesota 4-0 as Alex Fernandez pitched a 3-hitter for his 3rd career shutout. Toronto outdueled Seattle 6-5. Ex-Tiger Darnell Coles tripled home the game-winning run despite Omar Vizquel's first career grand slam. In the National League, it was Philadelphia 4, Cincinnati 1. Tom Green pitched 7 strong innings, and John Kruk and Darren Dalton each drove in 2 runs to help the Phillies get off to the best start since 1915. Atlanta edged Chicago 3-2. Tom Glavine pitched 8 innings, giving up 6 hits, and Mike Stanton recorded his 4th save. St. Louis outscored Los Angeles 9-7. Lee Smith got his first 3 outs of the ballgame to record his 358th save, a new major league record. San Francisco down Florida 3-1. Kurt Manwaring hit a bases-empty home run to help David Burba record his 2nd win of the season. Houston outscored Montreal 9-6. Ed Taubinski's 2-run homer in the 8th highlighted a 7-run inning. New York doubled up Colorado 8-4. Todd Hundley hit a bases-loaded triple to lead the Mets over the Rockies in their first night game at home. And Pittsburgh outdueled San Diego 6-4. Pitcher Bob Walk pitched 7 innings and also drove in 2 runs on the ballgame. Well, the NBA came out with some fines today as Chicago's Darrell Walker and Scott Williams and Detroit's Bill Laimbeer were fined for their actions in an altercation during Monday night's game. Walker has been suspended for 1 game and fined $10,000 for leaving the bench while not in uniform. Walker's 1-game suspension will be served after he gets back off the disabled list. Williams is fined $6,000 while Laimbeer gets hit with a $12,000 fine. On the NFL beat, the Detroit Lions announced today they are no longer interested in services of quarterback Joe Montana. Coach Wayne Font says it's tough to turn down a future Hall of Famer like Montana, but Font says the Lions want to stick with their young quarterbacks. Executive Vice President Chuck Schmidt says he's happy with Rodney Peete and Andre Ware battling for the starting quarterback slot. Schmidt also added giving up the #1 draft choice in this year's draft would severely hurt the team's, disrupt the team actually. And finally, the roar of stock car engines will be heard at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway next summer. An agreement has been reached to hold a NASCAR Winston Cup race next August of 1994. The Speedway has been home to the Indianapolis 500 for the past 78 years. And that's it for sports.
Look forward to another Indianapolis race.
I would hope so. They had to change the track a little bit for the NASCARs because it's a little different race than the Indy cars.
Okay, thanks, Todd. News Central will be right back.
Do you live like this? Crowded, overpriced, distant from campus? Why? When Arthur's Village offers affordable, spacious apartments close to campus. Residents especially like the large bedrooms and ample living space.
I have so much room here at Arthur's Village I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. Now I have room for all my stuff.
Arthur's Village apartments are not only spacious, but affordable too. With 9-month leases and low summer rates, Arthur's Village meets students' budgets.
Arthur's Village is so affordable that after paying my rent, I have enough money left over to do the things I enjoy doing.
Arthur's Village economical 3- and 4-bedroom furnished apartments are also close to campus.
I just had a rough day of classes. I'm ready to go over to SAC, work off a little tension, playing some hoops. And since I'm so close to campus, I can be there in a few minutes.
Arthur's Village, spacious, affordable, close to campus. Located at 722 West Broomfield. Call 772-2163 for more information.
The crew aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery isn't lost in space, but the astronauts were a little lost in time.
It's not easy knowing the day or the date when the sun rises and sets every 90 minutes. Astronaut Michael Full needed some help in resetting a computer aboard the Discovery. Somewhat sleepy, he radioed to Earth and asked, "Can you verify that this is Tuesday, the 13th? Capcom Carl Meade replied, "Yes, it is. Meade can relate. He's been in space twice and says he knows how it is up there."
That's all for News Central. Have a good night.
Thank you.